You're watching Chaotic TV.
Hey folks, welcome back to Chaotic TV. We're bringing you more Acer TeamStory Cup on Accolon Flats this time. We are still in Group 1. The series right now is MouseSports 2, Quantic Gaming 2. In the bottom right we have the MouseSports player that has returned the run of 2 to tie up the series right now. He is Mouse's MaNa from Poland. His opponent in the top left, no longer a Terran. We have a Protoss this time. From Team Quantic, it is HwangSin. We're going to have a PvP for you guys today. First one of this series, actually. We had a PvT, a ZVT, and then another double PvT. And MaNa had his triple Oracle style to take out the Terrans. And it looks like they were not expecting another proxy Oracle. After he scouted and saw where he was, it was going to be very damaging when Center did not do any scouting whatsoever on Star Station. Now it looks like HwangSin is going to be the first one to put out his gateway, and MaNa's put his right behind it. It looks like it was a 12 and 13 respectively on the counts of the probes. MaNa being a little bit different in this game. I don't think he'll be going for, we don't see a double gas automatically, so he's not already saving up. But that first gas before that first gas before cybernetics core means at least he's going to get a mothership core, which is very respectful play in PvP, especially because you can do a single zealot, stalker, and mothership core pressure if your opponent goes for a little bit more of an econ build. If your opponent does something very greedy and not get any units out at the same time, you can actually do a lot of damage with just those 3 units, as the Zealot can tank a lot of shots for the Stalker. And we are now going to see that the Scout from HwangSin is very quick comparatively, and now a second gas does indeed go down for both players. Cybernetics core is a little bit quicker for HwangSin, and I'm curious to see where these guys are going to go. We're going to have to wait until they save up enough money to do something after the cybernetics core is finished, which is in about 20-30 seconds in game. Another gateway already coming down. Probably another one for HwangSin as well. Yes, both players going for pretty much the exact same build, just slightly different timings by a different second or so. Warp gate going down for the exact same time. So that basically means they ended up at the same place in this, and neither one is chrono boosting the warp gate. So there's not going to be the super heavy attack at about 6 or 8 minutes. 6 or 7 minutes, excuse me. And they might be doing that simply because the probes were in the base and they didn't want to show them that they were chrono boosting something, because that might give away what they were planning to do, because these players are so high up in the metagame and they play so often that mind games are kind of just natural and secondary nature to each one of them. We do have the mothership core coming out for at least HwangSin right now, and we're going to have a little bit more of a defensive play coming out of MaNa. He's going to get that sentry so he can wall off the front. Forward pylon already going down for MaNa, and we are still kind of waiting to see what higher tech both of these players go into. This isn't really a blink stalker. You know what? I take that back. If they can get the mothership core to do some high ground vision right about here, they can do some very deadly blink-ins with stalkers, and it looks like HwangSin might actually be going for that. If he goes for DTs and MaNa does the Stargate play that he did in the last 2 games, then the DTs are going to have a run for their money, especially because if there are no oracles and he goes for void rays instead for some very early attack, then MaNa is going to be without detection. But he is indeed dropping that robotics bay, and he's going to be able to get out any detection he wants very quickly with a single chrono boost. You can get an observer out in about 20-25 in-game seconds, and if you micro away your probes quick enough, you're going to be able to save almost all of them at the same time. A blink is actually coming in for HwangSin right now. If MaNa goes for the immortal instead, he's going to be very, very safe, especially with that sentry against the blink stalker play coming out of HwangSin. Have either player scouted since then. I don't see any heavy tech scouted by by either player. Neither of them knows which tech path they're jumping into. HwangSin actually getting the robotics facility at the exact same time. Now, if he got that Twilight Council for Blink, and then he goes for a +1/+1, he drops 2 forges behind this. That would be surprising, especially on one base. But we do see that MaNa is going for the second base right now. Before HwangSin's going for the more pressure. He's not actually saving up for that second Nexus. He's going to put on pressure and then probably expand behind it. But the robotics facility is out, and we do not see any tech being built. There it goes. The Immortal just drops right now for MaNa, and HwangSin has yet to use his. Oh, he's going to put out an Observer. Lex UA has left the game, but now we see that HwangSin is pushing out a little bit, and MaNa has a decent enough force to hold this off. It's gonna be a lot to force field this ramp, but the Immortal that he's got coming out is going to be very, very helpful, especially against all of these Stalkers. If they take the time to focus them down, then the Stalkers of MaNa as well as the Zealots are going to do some serious damage, even with good Blink micro. But look at the timing on this. HwangSin moves in right as the Blink finishes. The second Nexus is just sitting there as bait. Everything moves down from the top, and he saw that Immortal right away. He's going to be able to hold off until he gets his Mothership Core here. We're going to be putting down some stasis shields, or time warps, excuse me, to get those Zealots and the Sentries stuck in position. But that is a great Guardian Shield coming out of it. Oh, we have a Nexus Cannon. The Photon Overcharge for MaNa, but there's a big Blink out of there, and MaNa's the one actually trapped by these force fields. That 13 range is absolutely ridiculous for the Nexus Cannon. The Time Warp just about to finish. There it goes, and a Nexus is actually being built behind this for HwangSin. He is doing that kind of pressure, but we have HwangSin looking for a little bit of a... Is he just moving? Oh, he's going to blink into the main, do a little bit of distraction. But you see, MaNa's already got all of his units there. We do have another Immortal coming out, and the Photon Overcharge is still going. It was even got a whole nother one ready on that Mothership Core to be able to knock it down. The Stalkers stay in the main base. If he gets an Observer out, he's going to be able to snipe the high ground vision of HwangSin. But the 2 Immortals and the Sentries and then the Zealot on the low ground are more than enough to take care of these Stalkers, even with reinforcements from that forward pylon. The Nexus for HwangSin is about to finish, but the mineral line is almost fully saturated for MaNa, and he's already got a pretty decent income lead. Look at that, he's got 200, almost 300 minerals more a minute, and his harvester count is only up on 2, but you can see how oversaturated HwangSin's main is. HwangSin has moved away from blinking into the main base, and the Immortals now count at 3, 4 coming in for MouseSports MaNa. MaNa moving across the map. Now he's going to be able to push away this pressure from HwangSin. HwangSin might be able to get that lucky Zealot, but a little bit of micro puts the Immortals up front where they take lessened attacks because of their hardened shield. And is that a oh, okay. I thought that was a misclick for a second, but they are just taking out those rocks so that there's no misclicks in the middle of a battle. The Observer's over here, and if he's going to be able to snipe this Mothership Core, great Photon Overcharge before it hits, but as you can see, it only takes 10 Stalkers to do a double shot on a Mothership Core. But that forward pylon is going to be able to supply cap HwangSin, as he himself is getting out a few Immortals right now. He's got one, he's got a second one coming in. The Mothership Core of HwangSin is taking out the Zealot that came in to scout and do a little harassment at the natural base of HwangSin from MaNa. Now we see the kind of daisy chain coming across. Now it looks like MaNa still does not have Blink, although he just started it, and the army supply is actually just barely in his favor, but the Immortal count is heavily in MaNa's favor. MaNa, if he pushes out now, he's going to be able to target fire HwangSin's Immortals with his own and do some serious damage, especially if you knock out those heavy hitters before the fight really gets going. Then the fight turns in your direction very quickly, especially when you can especially when you have lesser units. It's better to get rid of the heavy hitters in your opponent's army quickly, because fewer number of high damage weapons like the Immortals are going to be able to last even longer when there are no Immortals fighting against you. Now we're going to have another Blink push in here. He's scouting with this Observer, but if he does any kind of miss micro there, he was able to snipe one Stalker for that effort, but he's basically keeping MaNa penned in. MaNa will be expanding down here, knock down these rocks himself, and the rocks for HwangSin have not been knocked down, although as I say that, it looks like he might be moving over there to do it himself. We do have a forge coming down for HwangSin. He's going to be able to get that +1 and try to catch up to MaNa, who's actually dropping a Templar Archives. I actually really like that. You don't normally see that on two bases without a third coming in, because the gas is just very, very important. He's going to get he's getting an Archon most likely to stomp all over the force fields that will come out of HwangSin when MaNa moves towards the front of his base. Now HwangSin is going to see that there's no rocks here. He's going to be able to snipe off that Nexus probe very quickly, and as you can see, the Immortals themselves don't even need any backup. 2, 3, almost got a third one, but it looks like their attack was a little bit projectile, because that third Stalker was able to blink out right as they were firing. Now, no more Observer for HwangSin. He is now blind when it comes to the inside of MaNa's base. The third Nexus comes down right behind it, but he's expecting that. And the hallucinated Phoenix, oh, why are you moving away? You need to get in there before the Nexus is sniped. HwangSin is probably going to take down his own Nexus behind this, but he's going for the Colossi tech instead of the Archons, which are coming out of MaNa. MaNa going for the pure ground force as is, and the Colossi are going to do some serious damage against the force he's got here, especially if he doesn't bring in enough Zealots to charge into the Colossi range and make them shoot at their feet instead of at the 10 range that they're going to have with that extended thermal lance that is being researched right now. But the army supply is definitely in MaNa's favor. Almost a full 1,000. That's about 6 Stalkers worth more than his opponent. The charge puts those Zealots very vulnerable, so they get pulled back immediately. But we do have the forward pylon pretty far away. Is there another probe being brought in here to put down a further forward pylon? If he brings in a... No, he's still doing Immortals. He's not going. He's going to be able to snipe these Colossi very quickly with these Immortals. A third Nexus has still not been put down by HwangSin, but there it goes, right as I say that. He's going to be trying to ramp up his own economy, but the gas is about to get started for MaNa. His mineral line is already being filled out, and he's continuing his probe production. Both players... looks like MaNa has taken a definite lead. 10 more probes. He's going to be able to get to his optimal economy very quickly. And both these players are going to sit back and relax. Now we see that HwangSin's third base is actually coming down now. He's moving across with these two Phoenixes. They're going to split up and see that the third base of MaNa is fully set and ready to go. There's a very high Immortal count for MaNa right now. He's actually getting a Colossus, and his +2 is about to finish. If he finishes before HwangSin's, then he's going to be very advantageous in the next fight. The Phoenix is getting a full scout of MaNa's base, but it's not going to do him very much good because MaNa has pulled ahead in the probes, and if he's getting attacked by HwangSin right now, he's going to have a home court advantage where he's able to warp in reinforcements right away. But seriously, 5 Colossi against 7 Immortals and 2 or 3 of his own Colossi. He's got double robo production right now, and the extended thermal lance is about to finish. If HwangSin gets there directly afterwards, oh, look at these. The Colossi are already doing a little bit of damage. Great time warp goes down on him, and there's a few units being attacked at the main here, but you can see that the double time warp is essentially just so that HwangSin can't just crawl back into this main, into this third base, and he has to take the main ramp, and that way MaNa can just basically concave on the ramp and completely destroy the army of HwangSin. Great hallucinated Phoenix. That is something crazy. These Templar have feedback capability, but only one shot on each of them. Look at the Colossi doing their damage. The Immortals are doing even more damage. The Zealots moving forward to soak up all of the Colossi shots, as well as the very few Stalker and Archon count. The Colossi are moving forward, as well as all of the Immortals underneath. The Templar goes down right away, but you can see how quickly those Immortals move compared to the Colossi moving forward. The Zealots are melted right away, although they do give those Colossi of HwangSin a little bit of a shot to get back into it. But you saw the supply difference increase drastically towards the end of that fight. It was about 160 to 150, and now it's 134 to 47. MaNa losing almost nothing, even with the +2 kicking in at the exact same time for Quantic's HwangSin. So MaNa moving forward into his fourth game, the sixth game of the series, and now MaNa has taken MouseSports to a lead of 3-2 against Quantic Gaming's HwangSin. So we'll see you in Game 6 in just a second on NeoPlanet S on Chaotic TV. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.